And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. I'm Gary Kaltbaum, your host. Hey, thanks for being with us today. Glad you're here, ladies and gentlemen. Happy that you are listening. It is April 28, 2025. I believe it's Monday, darn. Actually, I don't mind Mondays. I don't mind any day. Hope you had a very good weekend. As always, serious talk about everything that affects you. The markets, your job, your industry, the economy, tariffs, Doge, and whatever else comes to mind. And today will be one of those, what we call tidbit days. Every now and then we just have a bunch of things that we're going to spend a minute on and move to the next and the next, but all have meaning and affects you. And of course, if you don't get this radio show in your city, we'll post it at GaryK.com. We'll also post it on our Twitter feed, which is now X. We'll also post it on podcast apps. And we're also working on YouTube and doing charts while we do the radio show and the whole works. We're working on that right now, sooner rather than later. And if you'd like to email us, just be nice. No, that's all you got. Be nice. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to start out by telling you that today the Dow finished up. You ready? Got to make sure I got the number right. Let's call it about 0.25%. The S&P was up 0.1%. Not even. The NASDAQ was down 0.1%. Ladies and gentlemen, it was an impressive day. We try to not, we do the day and whatever, but we really care about the big picture. But we're always impressed. The market opened hot and then was down 200 and 240. Dow and NASDAQ into about 130, and you're thinking, all right, we got a reversal day. That's not good news. This is bad. Oh, my goodness gracious. And the Dow finished up 114. NASDAQ only down 16. S&P up 3. That to us is impressive off of a higher low market from last 4 days. We'll see what tomorrow brings. Of course, we're in the midst of earnings season. In my hand, I have 12 pages of earnings to be reported this week, and that includes some biggies. And I can promise you some names that are weak are going to be strong because of earnings, and some names that are strong are going to be weak because of earnings. And our job will be to study them and see where they're going to open from the previous close and look to see if the earnings accelerated or decelerated, or maybe something good's going on or maybe something bad's going on. Right now everybody's talking about, the tariff thing is going to hit, and I got news for you. I don't know if you know this, but the tariff thing is going to hit in the next couple of weeks. We're seeing it at the ports. We're seeing it with truckers. To what extent, we don't know. And it'll be interesting to see what is reported by the peeps. But I'm just letting you know the market had a real chance to get slugged today and had a very good comeback by the close, which has nothing to do with what happens tomorrow, but we're letting you know today. And right now, so far, we had a crash low 3 weeks ago, rallied up, pulled back, and then we made a higher low last week with 4 good days of technology ramping to the upside. Will it continue? I must tell you, I'm quite agnostic here. I'm just trying to take it day by day, not trying to be a genius. And if the market keeps giving me information that's good, you know what we do with that. If the market if the market finished down 300 and 300 today, could have been an issue. But it didn't. They stood up, and defended. What else? Gold, good day. Though, listen carefully, Barron's had the front cover, the gold rush. This is after a big move. This would worry me. It's the front cover indicator that I've talked to you about many times on the show. When it hits, We'll see if Barron's jinx it again. As of today, did not. Gold had a very good day as the dollar was squashed today again. I got to tell you, if you go to, let's see, the euro right now has, it's up about 11% since March. You're paying 11% more if you go to Europe. The pound, about 9-10% more expensive to go over there. And of course, you know what we're worried about. And we'll see how that plays out. Okay, tidbits. I have to start with Social Security, and we'll get back to the markets in a bit. They're all out and BSing. The Marxist Party was out this weekend again saying that the Republicans are going to get rid of your Social Security and get rid of your Medicare and Medicaid and all that. And that, by the way, that's kind of the verbiage. They're not saying they're going to do something with your Social Security. Oh, you're going to lose your Social Security. We just want to let you know again, under no uncertain terms, Social Security has turned out to be the biggest scam of all time on you. And what they did was they made you believe, they made people believe since they started that you needed the government for your retirement. And what did they do? They started taking money out of your paycheck, and that amount kept going and going and going until, and you weren't taxed when you were taking it out until, what year, 90-something? And all of a sudden you tax on Social Security, and the amount you have to pay tax on kept going up higher and higher and higher and higher. Ladies and gentlemen, if I said to you, imagine there was never Social Security. But government came in and said, look, we want to make sure your retirement's good. So every month or every paycheck, this is how much is going to come out based on your paycheck, but it's going to go into your own account. We're going to have nothing to do with it. And it's going to be automatically once every month or 3 months, just so you don't have to do it too many times, you buy 10-year bonds. You go out and buy 10-year bonds, and they keep rolling over and rolling over every 10 years, and that's all you did. First off, there wouldn't be bazillions spent on the Social Security Administration. 70,000 people, I think 70,000 people work in the Social Security Administration. And let me read something to you. This is from somebody. By the time I am 67, over 600,000 of my dollars will be paid into Social Security on my behalf. That money would have been worth $1.9 million if I had just gotten a 5% return. My annual interest on that money would be $95,000 approximately. He says at 67, the government promises me $37,000 a year. Catching my drift? They scammed you. And imagine if somebody had that ridiculous idea of 5% of your money is going into the stock market. Way back when. Do you know what compounding does? So just letting you know, somebody wrote this up and I thought that was quite interesting. You don't get any return on your money on Social Security. Just remember, they took all that money out and you get no return on your money. And God forbid you pass away early. Guess where that money goes? I continue. It's Thomas Jefferson Day. Do you know why? Because I was just going through my tidbits and said, I have not brought this up in a while. Because Thomas Jefferson, ages ago, born in 1743, died in 1826. Third president from 1801 to 1809. Let me read quotes from him. Tell me if they're apropos today. The democracy will cease to exist when you take away from those who are willing to work and give to those who would not. Interesting. It is incumbent upon every generation to pay its own debts as it goes, a principle which if acted on, would save one half the wars of the world. I predict future happiness for Americans if they can prevent the government from wasting the labors of the people under the pretense of taking care of them. Thomas Jefferson. Smart dude. Up next, more tidbits. Very important ones. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. Hey, I'm sorry. I've got a... What year is it? 2025? More than 200 years ago. Let me repeat this. The democracy will cease to exist when you take away from those who are willing to work and give to those who would not. It is incumbent upon every generation to pay its own debts as it goes, a principle which, if acted on, would save one half the wars of the world. I predict future happiness for Americans if they can prevent the government from wasting the labors of the people under the pretense of taking care of them. My reading of history convinces me that most bad government results from too much government. These stinking, slimy, sleazebag politicians of the last, especially of the last 25, 30 years, especially, they can all rot. The World Bank, tidbit, has misplaced $41 billion in climate change funds. No clear public record showing where this money went or how it was used. What have we told you about the scam of climate? $41 billion. So I asked the question, where's the freaking media and their investigations on $41 billion missing at the World Bank? Just asking. I'd like to find out how much the United States gives to the World Bank. If I know Trump, he's taken away that money. Next, and we're moving around here. Over the last 3 years, Apple's revenues have increased 5% while its net income has declined 4%. Just letting you know. Haiti, you ready for your tax dollars? $4.4 billion of aid for poverty relief in Haiti has gone missing. The audit of USAID, you've heard of them, shows a disturbing shortfall in funds surrounding ongoing relief projects in Haiti. Isn't Haiti the place where Clinton was doing all... Yeah, okay. The 2025 UN Human Rights Council is now in session. The members, number one, and we're not making this up. No, really, we're not making this up. Cuba is on the UN Human Rights Council. Is it any wonder we think the UN sucks? You ready? China, human rights. Sudan, human rights. I'm saying Burundi, but I don't know how bad they are because I don't know where the heck that is. Kyrgyzstan, Democratic Republic of Congo. Not making this up. Norway. No, they're not part of that. Just letting you know, Norway put a wealth tax increase. They said it would bring in $146 million in yearly tax revenue. Individuals worth $54 billion left the country, leading to lost $594 million. Dummies. Apple. We're going back to Apple. Do you know they bought back $646 billion in stock over the past 10 years, which is greater than the market cap of 491 companies in the S&P? Hey, I'm just telling you. Ford. They're going to lose $5 billion on its electric vehicle business this year alone. That was 24, I take it back. They're losing $44,000 on every electric vehicle. And the Ford Mustang Mach-E was selling for $10,000 above MSRP less than 2 years ago. It's now listed 31,000 below. GM accumulated losses of $10 billion over the years from its cruise robo-taxi division. Here's a good one. The UN Climate Conference, United Nations Climate Conference. Do you know who they invited to attend? The Taliban. The Taliban, who have banned women from speaking in public. The UN. Back to the UN sucks. Today, the Dallas Fed Texas Manufacturing Index of General Business Activity came in at minus 35.8 after a minus 16.3 in March. Ooh, we're going to watch that. Oh, we're going to watch that. And last but not least, the tariff thing. And I don't want to do too much on it. I've knocked that thing around 100 times here, right? But none of it makes sense. The president is now saying that big tariffs are going to replace income taxes. And you're going to get a huge tax, and it's just going to be paid by tariffs. The same tariffs that the Secretary of Treasury is saying we're going to get rid of because of trade deals. Trump and his Treasury Secretary are contradicting each other on the same freaking day. And of course, the numbers of countries that they keep talking about in deals that have not happened change every single day. Ladies and gentlemen, I take no joy in saying this. I don't trust a word out of their mouths. I will verify everything for you and I. It is a shame because we just came off 4 years of the worst freaking president we've ever had, and that's a high bar to get over. The biggest lion sack we've ever had in Joe Biden and a complicit media that let him get away with it for 4 freaking years. And we're up to our ears in the same right now. And by the way, I would say it to the president himself. Stop. I'm rooting for you. Here's why what you're saying makes no sense. And stop doing this. I would try and help him. He may kick me in the teeth or something and take his 9-iron and smack me, but I'd be really helping him out. Who doesn't help him? Oh, he's the greatest. Everything he says and does is 100% right. He's 1,000%. He's the president, the greatest negotiator of all time. Art of the deal. Tell that to the markets and the dollar and bonds. And then, you know, when the market was crashing, the Treasury Secretary said, the market doesn't, it's not, you know, it's short to get. Now that the market's rallied up, guess what he was talking about this weekend? The market is up. Don't you love politicians? That's it on tariffs for today. How's that? And frankly, I don't even know where the hell we stand, to be honest with you. And that is our tidbits for the day, though I must tell you, I won $100 on a scratch-off ticket. I never play them, but I just was at one of those things. I won $100. Up next, back on the markets, whatever else comes to mind. I'm Gary. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. How about those tidbits? Isn't this some interesting stuff that we find out? Never forget what they did to you in your Social Security. Oh, and by the way, do not forget, you who are getting Social Security right now are not getting your money back. You're getting the workers of today's money because that's all gone. It's all IOUs. If we had no workers today, and of course that's far-fetched, but if we had no workers today, you would not be getting your Social Security. Well, they would have to go into massive debt like they do on everything else. That's how bad it is. And that's why I love when somebody says it's a Ponzi scheme and gets yelled at for saying it's a Ponzi scheme when it's the greatest Ponzi scheme. Just so you know what the Ponzi is. You're getting paid with other people's money. That's what it is. Anyway, that's the story. And again, we take no joy in any of this. We don't take any joy in any of this, but that's the government and that's what they've done. And just remember, the same people that tell us how everything's great, they've run us to $37 trillion of debt. 37. Oh, and by the way, the Republicans, their new budget has us going $5 trillion more in debt. Just letting you know. Remember, we don't trust one. We don't care who it is. We have no love for any of them. By the way, you know who I do have love for? How about this one? That guy Fetterman. I like that guy. He really backs Israel big time. We love that. Absolutely love that. Anyway, back on the market. It was one of those weird days that finished up well. It doesn't mean much for tomorrow. I can safely tell you the market is very overbought, but kind of sort of worked it off a little bit today. We'll see what tomorrow brings. I follow certain people out there, and one of them is Dan Niles. And there are a few others. A lot of people are worried about how far this can go to the upside. I think that works in the market's favor. Just remember, if everybody's bearish and the market gets to moving and it starts to really get moving, what do you think those people have to do eventually? That is correct. Get on board at a certain period of time. That's what makes bullish markets, as well as good fundamentals and low interest rates and all that. But we're just talking about the innards of the market. So we're always watching that. It's always interested us. I still remember in 2008, I went to the bank and took out $25,000 in cash. I was worried about the whole financial system for damn good reason. They were dropping like flies. And then a certain someone came out, on top of me going to get cash. A certain someone with a big-time financial show got on that show and said, don't be in the market for another 5 years. And that was like 3 weeks before the bottom. And then, of course, after it bottomed, said he called the bottom. Terrific. We don't name names. But that's the type of stuff when everybody's gagging. Now, I don't think everybody was gagging on this one, but we were certainly getting a lot of bulls turning bearish. Oh, by the way, those bulls that turn bearish are kind of a little bullish now again, which getting sentiment frothy again. But overall, better. Though I would suggest 80% of all stocks are still in downtrends, but rallying off of those downtrends. And we're hoping to see a lot of them turn up, and we'll take it from there. But mostly, I think that I wouldn't be surprised if we got some backing and filling for a while. And what that specifically means, kind of sort of running in place. You know, we've rallied up, pulled back, rallied up again, and we are in massive resistance, as well as those big moving averages are starting to converge. And we're not predicting, but we would not be surprised for 4, 5, 6, 8 weeks, maybe back and fill. And then if we want to get going, terrific. Again, that is not a prediction, but there is massive overhead. And I'm really interested to see reactions. You know, Google, Alphabet, gapped up strong. They were talking it up on Friday. hit like 167, closed at like 162. They sold into it. It was down again today. I think we may see things like that. Not the end of the world. And I really still believe that low of 3 weeks ago is good. Definitely for now. And when I mean for now, for a while. Maybe they take it out eventually one day. I don't know. And there's a lesser of a chance, but still a good chance, that the low of last week, a higher low, is going to hold. Though I must say at 1 o'clock today, I was like, okay, what's the deal? So stay tuned. And what we're simply going to do is let you know on a daily basis. We've told you already that Netflix, Palantir, CrowdStrike, and some of these others, SAP, are showing great relative strength. If those things change, we'll let you know. But as I do my scans, boy, oh boy, a lot of things missing. 80% of stocks still. The bull market's in gold. Even though Barron's did put out a front cover, Gold Rush, had a good day today. Bull market's in a few insurance stocks. European banks. Germany is in recession, and they admit it, and it's at new yearly highs just about. So Europe's stronger than us. And you got then a smattering, just a smattering of stocks, but not many. So we'll keep paying attention, just let you know. And I just have to go back to one tidbit I forgot about, actually two. IBM announced that they're going to spend $150 billion in the United States. I don't believe it. I think all these companies announcing $100 billion, $400 billion, $800, I think they're all full of it. I'd say it to their faces. I think they're all appeasing the president. That's what I believe. I think they're full of it. IBM, there is no way they are going to need to spend $150 billion manufacturing in the United States. They're appeasing the president. They know the president loves hearing that. $150 billion in America over the next 5 years ain't going to happen. Just letting you know. And we'll keep you up on that, but it's all, I think it's all BS, appeasing the president. Hey, don't exempt me from tariffs. I'm on your side type of thing. And I don't blame them for BSing. And I'm sure they'll invest and they'll do some R&D here and build some plants. Ain't going to be $150 billion over 5 years. No chance. Zero chance. Let's see. IBM does 31, 46, $60 billion a year in revenues. So you're telling me they're going to take half their revenues over the next 5 years, all in the U.S. Building. Ain't happening. Just add up the numbers. Ain't buying it. And that goes for all the others with their outrageous numbers. Who came out with I think there was somebody with 6, 7, 800 billion? Ain't happening. But leave no doubt there'll be more manufacturing here. Cool. All for it. All for it. Up next, I may be burning all my Nike wear. I'll explain. I'm Gary. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. I have been working hard, so I didn't pay too much attention today to the tube. But I did notice, things get pushed to me on Twitter and all that, news and things like that, besides everything I read. And in case you don't know, there is a slogan, never again. It is a phrase or a slogan. It is associated with the Holocaust and other genocides. Never again. They're doing the London Marathon. At the end of the London Marathon, Nike did a display, an advertisement, big sign, in red, never again, until next year, and the bottom run. And do you know what color they used? What color was the Nazis? I'll let you take the time, go online, and check out this sign. I cannot believe. I saw somebody say that. By the way, Nazis black, white, and red. I've heard somebody say that they couldn't have done this on purpose. Ladies and gentlemen, this looks like the most purposeful, with the colors and the verbiage. I don't believe in accidents. I have already tried to contact Nike to see if they have anything to say. It would be nice if I get an answer. I'm pissed. I am pissed. I am pissed. You can go take a look at it. That's Nike. They better have a good answer. That's all I can tell you. So you can see we're covering a lot today, but all meaningful things. There is a lot of crazy going on, ladies and gentlemen, whether it's the tariffs, the lies on climate, and Social Security. Oh my goodness, Al Gore was out. Oh, the lies on climate, Social Security. What a great scam. And we just, ladies and gentlemen, have to cover it. To cover you. Trust by me, unfortunately, is low. They've all earned it. And I'd love to give this president better marks. I can't. On the border, A+++. But on the deportation, I have no problem with deportation, but man, oh man, go read some of the stories, and I will tell you, every person counts. And I love Tom Homan. Speaking of that, I heard the ex-border czar Kamala Harris is going to be talking tonight, and will be blasting the president. The woman that on purpose, the border czar that let 10 million people in, not vetting them, missing children, people dying, has something to say. Yay. You can see I'm equal opportunity. We are in hopes that one day I can meet the president and sit down with him and the Treasury Secretary and tell them the waywardness of these policies that make absolutely zero sense. Even worse, tariffs over income taxes. You know who wins? Oh, the wealthy. You know who loses? The lower income and middle class. Will get blown away. Ridiculous ideas. We hope all this changes. As we have said to you, we hope President Trump came in, made the tax cuts permanent, do some more tax cuts, knock out a ton of onerous regulations, streamline the government, and go. Get out of the way. But no, they have other fish to fry. and we'll keep covering it without any agenda, bias, or ulterior motive. And frankly, we couldn't care. We just want good policy. That's all we want. And there's a reason why the president's poll numbers have tanked. And there's a reason why, if the midterms were held today, the Marxist Party would win the House. Fortunately for the president, it is only late April. You got all the way to next November. But I got news for you. That crap comes quickly. And if he doesn't change his stance, and we do more of a deep dive, when the Marxists get the House and get to all the investigation ability, you know what's next. So I'm trying to help him out, because there's too many yes people. We'll see how it goes. I must tell you, I hope everything works out for him. I hope the economy soars, the market soars, interest rates come down. I'm rooting. I don't think tariffs are the answer. All right, we did a lot, and I won $100 on a scratch off. You have a great evening. Drive carefully, and when you get home, do like we do. Simple. Make sure you hug your family. Make sure you hug your children. They will feel better. You will feel better. I promise. Stay well. Be well. And thanks for joining. Until tomorrow. Peace out all. Good night.